Okay, so I got quite a few questions on grading your, not quite a few, just a couple, on grading your timelines. And I thought I'd just clarify some things and help everybody remember the spirit of what we're trying to do and then let you make the decisions however you want. They're worth 45 points total. And so if a kid came in, they had everything listed the way we'd asked them to, they'd obviously put some thought into it. I gave them a 45. If they gave me a list and it says meet competency one for your first one, meet competency two, meet competency three, I'm giving them like basically a D, whatever that was. So a little higher than half, and sending it back and asking them to do it over because they obviously didn't think through their competencies. Like the first kid, competency number one was to do his financial statements and all that stuff for business. He can't do that till he's done sales. So he needs to go through and think through what order he's putting them in and actually break those down. And I don't want just competency one. I want it to say, I'm going to finish my financial reports, or something like that. So it needs to be thought out a little more than that. This one here, I would make him go back and put his actual dates on here. He just has things written down like goals, but he doesn't have the dates of what day he's going to do that. So I would take off probably 5 points for not putting the dates. And then I'm going to take off a few points because at the end, he has work on my presentation. Well, we have a whole week to work on your presentation already sent into that. So he should have 13. If they listen to the videos, I said they need 13, which takes them right up to the competency board reviews. And then the next week, they have the entire week to work on their presentation. And then they have presentation week. So they don't really need to have a week. They don't need to put in time to work on their presentation. I saw one from another kid that had 3 weeks to work on their presentation. Definitely not. You don't need 3 weeks to work on your presentation. If you're doing all the stuff, presentation should come together pretty quickly because you have a lot of things to put in there. So I would send that one back, take another 5 points off for that, and tell them, hey, if you fix these things, I'll give you full credit, and give them a deadline like within a week or whatever to fix it. If they've done a really good job on theirs and they mess it up and it doesn't work, they need to go back and change it. That is fine. That's part of the process. We just want them to think through the process of what they're doing. Then just some other things for you as teachers. So as I read through this, I see that this kid had make t-shirts in there. I didn't even know he was planning on making t-shirts. It's not part of his competencies. It's not something he ever said he wanted to do. So I would sit down and talk with him about that. I don't see any problem with that being in there. I just want to chit chat with him and say, why do you need t-shirts? What's your point of t-shirts? What need is that filling? Just make sure they're thinking that through and they're not just shoving them in there because they don't know what to do that week. Stuff like that. So things we need to work on, but hopefully that helps. That is kind of the spirit of what needs to happen. As long as it looks like that they've thought it through and they have some idea of what order things need to be done in, it is fine. And then going back and tweaking it all the time is fine. So your main job as the advisor, if they did that, is to just say, when they're working on something one week, go, is this what you're supposed to be working on to get this done, or do you need to change your timeline, or if we have to move this forward, how does this affect the rest of your project? Things like that they need to be thinking about as they're working on things. So hopefully it's going well, and hopefully that helps as you grade those.